All right, I am back talking about delays. That was a perfect example of a pattern interrupt, where we really get to look at things from a different way of meaning making, and where we are projecting things as being personal when they're not, on how things show up or how things aren't showing up, or what the lessons are behind it that we need to learn about when things don't always necessarily go the way that we want. There's always a gift, there's always a bigger meaning behind all of this. And I was talking to a client of mine yesterday who was really overwhelmed and in a really upset place where the universe had set her up. She was in a job that she absolutely loved. Things were going great. Welcome back, Cindy. Hi, Sue. And she lost her job, and she was going, why is this happening to me? Everything was so great, and she was doing a great job, and there was no reason or justification as to why all of a sudden this way of creating her business had gone away. And I can only speak from my experience. So first off, just know that take what's true and right for you, trust what works for you. Hi Kelly, I'm back. And throw out the rest, because life happens, and trusting in a bigger purpose, trusting in your growth, it's not always fun. It's going to be a challenge. Hi, welcome back, Elena. Hi, Christina. So just remember that your mind can't always comprehend what's going on, and you have to trust. You have to trust in a higher purpose that is guiding you, and ask, what is it that I'm not seeing? Where do I need to adjust? How can I shift and expand? And call in your guides, call in your ancestral helping spirits, call in your animal medicine, and ask for guidance, because we're not supposed to go through life trying to figure all this out on our own. And as I said earlier before I got interrupted, you can't always see it when you're in the heat of things. And this is where introspection is so important, to not always look for meaning when there isn't any meaning required, but also to not make anything mean more than you and your own priorities. So we have to look at, when life is punching you around and you're in a crappy situation, or you're not always getting to choose from a place where the situations are out of your control, you still get to choose how you live your life and how you respond to things in your life experience. Death happens, people leave. A beautiful man who makes incredible music, Chris Takalong, passed this week. So many people are choosing to leave. Their contracts are done, including animals. And the ones that are left behind, we're not allowing ourselves to feel what this means. For me, the only way to do this is to see the dance, to see the contrast in the yin and the yang. Yes, don't read too much into things, says Helena. Yeah, and post your comments and questions if you know someone who might be interested in joining this conversation. Please share it, tag it, give me some love, give me some hearts. And just remember, that life is a dance. And I was speaking to a wonderful woman that composes music the other day, and we were talking about this, that it's not always in the notes. It's in the space between the notes that the magic happens, and we're so impatient. One of the biggest lessons that I think we're all learning right now is to be more flexible, to remember not to take things personally. It's not personal. You have no idea sometimes what's going on in other people's lives. And if we don't ask, like a simple question like, gosh, I'm a little bit confused, can you help me? People can't but lean in and help you to get the information that you need to be at peace, to trust that this is where you need to be right now. And oftentimes when you go into why is this happening to me, and you come from a victimology point of view, you're not feeling safe. Most of the time when we're not feeling good about things, it's because we're not feeling safe, or we're not in a kind environment, or people are pushing too much energy at us. There's the protagonist, there's the victim. Everything gets very confusing when we're not actually looking at this from a place of, what am I not being clear about in my asking? How am I communicating this in a way that is creating discomfort or confusion, not just for you but for other people? And allow yourself to look at, where am I being tested on everything? If you're struggling with your health, or if you're staying in situations longer than you should be, if you feel like you're never going to get a break, things are just so hard, and it's just like, oh my gosh, could I just catch my breath? I've had so many conversations with people the last couple of weeks about this. So it's just like, no matter what you do, things just don't seem to be changing, or they're not moving in the direction that you want. Sometimes we need to just push pause. Sometimes we need to ask for support, and stop trying to band-aid things on the surface. Deep change comes when we actually look at what is true for me. Is this true for me? Is this no longer working for me? Where do I need to let go? Where am I holding on too long? Because you always have to look at what are you capable of bringing into this world. And it doesn't come sometimes if we're not being pushed, or we're not putting ourselves under healthy pressure. We don't like it, but it's really, really important in the training days of how you're showing up every day, and the hardy does are crying, and to practice rituality, to listen to your body, to listen to spirit, to listen to the entity of the work that you're bringing into the world, or what your body needs from you. And you have to attune to getting a higher alignment of purpose. You have to be really clear about what it is that you're asking for, and then hold yourself to your boundaries that are solid and flexible, and get a support system around you that can deliver what you're asking, or what it is that you want. And see the contrast. The contrast is what gives us the clarity. And we have to sometimes muddle our way through this. Sometimes it does feel like things are never going to change, or you're never going to get it right. There is no right or wrong. There's only the choice, and the power of choice is yours to choose exactly what it is that you're asking for. So questions that I love to ask is, what is this experience giving to me? And where is my devotion, or where is my strength, or where is my lack of boundary? Where is my lack of training? And how can I get on track again? How can I get back into alignment with my true north, with my big what, and recognize and recommit to what I'm hungry for, and how I'm prepared to do the work to change it? Because I think we forget how powerful we are, don't we? A lot of times we give our power out there to other things, like cultural mores and moralities, and like inherited familial and cultural traits that actually are not in alignment with your highest, greatest purpose and calling for being here. So it can feel unkind, it can feel hard, it can feel really unfair, and that's your truth when you're in it. Hi Elizabeth, hi Mary. Give me some love, give me some hearts if this is sort of resonating with you, because I think we get so attached to the meaning making that we lose touch with what touches us, what moves us, what makes us feel alive. And we have to look at where are we out of trust, where are we holding ourselves back, where are we holding the people that we love back, instead of looking at what needs to grow in me, what am I growing into, and what old stories about money and health and old belief systems. I don't believe there are any limiting beliefs. I just think that they're beliefs that we have in the moment that are exactly aligned to what we're asking for. And it doesn't always feel kind and generative and comfortable. But that's where we need to recommit to really looking at what is it that my soul desired to come into this physical body for, to experience. We look at the beggar on the side of the road, and we can look at them with kind eyes and go, honor the experience that person is having, or the stray dog, and have gratitude and appreciation for what you're creating in your life, that is a choice to have less home. For some people, would be a relief, because there's less things to take care of and less home to take care of, and there's no wrongness. This is where the meaning making in what does success look like for you, or what does joy look like for you, or what does impact look like for you, are very different to the way things used to be in our father's time, or our mother's father's time. So generations back, this looked very, very different. And Heritage Day, again, is really a good time to look at, you know, where are you inheriting faulty belief systems that are not aligned to your true calling or what makes you happy. You know, are you being clear and congruent and conscious of your thoughts, of where your mind wanders off, of where you are get taken out of the game and go into doubting and being afraid over owning and trusting in a deeper truth. So I invite you today to just reconnect to spirit, reconnect to the spirit of your life, to the spirit of abundance, to the spirit of giving more with generosity, and ask questions. You know, it doesn't make trauma okay, but we can transform through changing our old stories. And please don't abandon yourself, because it gets hard. It gets really, really hard. And the first thing you want to do is go, oh, it's not working. Oh, shit, I'm going to give up, and I'm never going to get this right because there's too many obstacles in the way. The obstacle is the way. And sometimes the pause is exactly what you need. You probably don't want it because you think, oh my gosh, I should be doing a million things at once. And I really relate to that. I came back from a week of very intensive work and a lot of things that needed to be integrated and built out last week when I was with the Lions. And if you did ask for a reading from the Lions, please be patient. I'm so grateful for the incredible response that I got, where so much of this is what I wanted to speak to today, because we all want better. And that was one of the things that was really evident in that post, where I said, what was the one thing that you're struggling with right now that you would like to get some clarity on? And it's all, you know, we all want better. We all struggle with the same things. We all want to connect, a deeper sense of connection. We all want to deeper right relationships. We all want to make a bigger impact in the world. And sometimes, because we live in an age of instant gratification, where if you can't get an answer, Siri can give it to you in 2 minutes flat. We're all, information is so accessible, but no one's telling you how to do the training and how to create right relationship with you and where you are. So watch how, when you go and you do it anyway, and you take the pause, or you take a time out, or you slow down to your body's pace, the world will continue. The world will carry on. We really have to look at our egoic wants as not making our egos wanting convenience bigger than your soul's calling. The soul doesn't care about convenience. Your soul cares about right relationship and honesty and commitment and vulnerability. And we have to look at how when we're going into the what if, or why is this happening? Why aren't things showing up? Why can't I get a break? Where that's coming from, and be willing to sit and look at what's behind it, because we have to go deep down into our intuitive knowing of what it is that we're hungry for, and reconnect to that. So if you're in a rut, just know that your mind's going to take you out of the game. So what are you waiting for? You know, are you willing to just do it anyway for a short period of time? Be in the inconvenient space, be in the discomfort. Allow yourself to feel everything that's coming up, and stay with it. Don't abandon yourself. Don't abandon your child parts. Stay in that space. There's a difference between the waiting room, where everything's just waiting to lose weight, waiting to get it right, waiting for the money come in, to luminal space, that space between the nodes, where just when you're about to quit, everything starts to expand again. There's even a place in the heart, in the left ventricle of the heart, that surgeons won't touch. It's like that 0 point field. It's the sacred space that takes a pause. You know, people think our heart beats all the time, but the heart even has a moment of pause, so that it can recalibrate and readjust and really attune to the beat of your own heart, or beat to the beat of your own drum. So look at what it is that you're not willing to sit with right now, and that if you would just sit with that and go deep and ask generative questions, you're always going to get into alignment and be in more allowance of how things show up. Hi, Whitney. So that's kind of my musings for a Heritage Day holiday in South Africa. Be willing to swim upstream when everyone's going the easy route. This is how we're going to create a sustainable planet, is we have to be willing to swim against the stream, and also to go down again. You know, this is the expansion and the contraction. It's the movement and it's the pause. It's the dance between the yin and the yang, and you are the bridge. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. We can create heaven on earth. And it's not necessarily it's easy, but it's not always simple, right? It's not always easy to make changes when it just seems so hard. But I'm just inviting you to just stay with it a little bit longer, because the fastest way to get back to feeling good, to feeling aligned, to feeling on purpose, is to know that your heart knows the difference between danger and not feeling good. So type yes if your intuition knows how to use that. I would love to know if this resonates with you. Give me a yes in the comments, and start to look at, question for you, you know, am I being clear and congruent and conscious of where my thoughts are taking me right now? And does it feel expansive, or does it feel contractive? And don't think that it has to be either or. This is not an either or reality. Just because your family might be predisposed to diabetes doesn't mean that that is your inheritance, right? Your experiences out there in the world, in your environment, in your relationship to yourself, on a mental and an emotional and a physical and a financial level of commitment, all have to dance together. And we're not always going to get it synchronized all at the same time, and yet we think, well, we should be there already, or why haven't I got there already? And we go into the comparing game and everything else. So be brave, tap into your lion heart, and let me know where you are willing to start being very clear in what you're asking, and communicating that in a way that eliminates any judgment, any fear of being abandoned or rejected or ridiculed. And be kind to yourself. Know that your words are literally spellings. You are creating spells with the words that you're speaking out into the world, and also with your internal dialogue. You're literally speaking yourselves into a new space of being that is either going to heal and make you whole and fulfilled, or it's going to make you sick because you're out of ease with your body. So just look at, you know, where are you going to do it? You have two choices. You can effort, you can force yourself, or you can just do it anyway, and really deepen into self-trust and faith. And if that's difficult for you, and you're feeling yourself going into complaining or making meaning out of things that you have no control over, or you're making things personal, just do a pattern interrupt. Just make a commitment to yourself that you're going to count yourself down from 5 to 0, and lengthen the time that you're doing that. Take a pattern interrupt out for 60 minutes if you can do that, or 30 minutes, or whatever it is to you, and just know that you get to create your own living legacy. You are not your inherited family trauma. You are not your inherited ancestral trauma. You are you, and the power of choice is yours. Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to leave it at that. Tracy says I was made redundant, shock and horror, but it's turned into something amazing. Exactly. You know, sometimes where we think our lives are falling apart, they're actually falling back together. How wonderful that you did that. 6 months to really get in touch with what it is that you're here to do, Tracy. I really honor and acknowledge that for you, and you're living by the sea. Reza, my pleasure. Thank you for this message. All right, yes, words are energy, absolutely. All right, guys, It's my pleasure, Elena. Thank you. It's always so wonderful to have you join me on these little spontaneous daily doses of medicine. I have been really going inward the last couple of weeks. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, so I have been a bit quieter on Facebook. And just a reminder, thank you to everyone who asked for a lion reading. I did have a cutoff on it, so if you haven't had your message from Lion Medicine and you still want one, you can have that for only $5, and all the proceeds are going to go to upping the security and keeping the lions safe at Amoya, and of course my little cats helping big cats, so some of my feral feeding shelters that I support. So if you'd like a reading, $5, just PM me and I'll send you the details of how to do that. Hi Debbie BB, nice to see you. All right, lots of love. Have a good rest of the day wherever you are. Bye. Mwah.